VDC. We are back. Finally. The end of the season. Playoffs are here. A grand finals has already happened. It's getting crazy. Shit is going down. And we got a good one for you today. It's just me and Jordan today. No Ty. Hopefully. We never know what's going to happen. He might hack into the server again. Or do, some funny business. Never know. But it's just me and Jordan for now.
After the podcast leak of season 7, we know Paco's cybersecurity standards aren't up to par. So
it's crazy because a lot of people don't even know about that.
I know.
I totally forgot about it actually, though.
That's such a good story.
Yeah, that is a great story. If you're
Those
interested,
of you who know, you know.
If you're interested in the story, ask in the comments or something, because we'll tell you. I'm sure.
We'll do a story time.
Or just tag us in Discord. But yeah, as for the agenda, it's gonna be a quick one. Maybe depends on how long things go. You never know what's gonna happen. We might go on tangents here and there, but really today we're just gonna be finishing off those predictions for the playoffs, grand finals. Who's gonna win it? We didn't touch a whole lot on Apprentice and Expert, so wanted to show the two best tiers some love. You know what I'm saying? So, without further ado, we've got one game left in Prospect. Jordan, I know we kind of talked about it already, but you wanna maybe repredict?
Remy retched his hand out onto the crystal ball, and he predicted this outcome, the 5 and 6 seed. No one else believed me, but here we are, KC versus Cha. Two of my best buddies on both sides of the teams facing off against one another. You got Vibe Legion, Barely Ethan, two really solid teams. And I think it'll be an interesting matchup for sure. I went with Cha at the first podcast, and I think I'm gonna ride Cha again. But you never know what that boy Karan and Vibe can pull out of their bag there. So I think it'll be a really good series. But I'm going Cha on 4.
Is Karan on that team?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, dude. What? Casey's winning, bro.
Yeah. I'm riding my Cha boys to the finish line. I said it, Cha on 4.
I mean, I could easily see either team winning it. I kind of want to. Okay, no hate to Cha. I know last season I was a big Cha hater. Didn't have them making playoffs at all. They made it in 3 tiers. This season, even though there's no hate towards Cha, I just feel like it would be funny if they went 3 for 3 grand finals and lost all 3. I think it would be funny. Sorry, Chaos Theory. Sorry, Tresente, TK, whoever else is on franchise management over there.
I can't forget about the boy, man.
I can't. I just want to see him lose. I don't know. Maybe I am a hater. D1, but
yeah, I think it'll be a really good game. To be honest with you, I think KC, given the circumstances of how Cha made it, could potentially, will it rattle them? Will it cause them to be like, we don't belong here? And if they lose a few rounds, will it cause an issue? Obviously with the circumstances, you never know how that mental battle is going to go. But I think that if they play their game, they are the better team. But KC's been finding their stride, obviously, throughout late in the season. They started out iffy, had a rough period where they were losing matches that they probably could be at least getting 1-1s, and now they found themselves in the grand finals because it's always about who gets hot at the right time. So best of luck to both of them. I don't have a particular side I'm rooting for the most from a friend standpoint, but from a podcast host standpoint, I'm picking Cha on 4.
That's fair. I think I said KC in the last one, so I guess I'll keep the KC.
Hell yeah.
It would be interesting though. they're already breaking records. I'm pretty sure this is the first time that a 5 and 6 seed has ever been in the grand finals. So they're
Yeah, it's like
history
madness.
already. But then
Mm.
you look at, okay, let's say KC does win. Karan is going to join a small group of people who have won in 2 different tiers. Like, I can think of Tavasi and, yeah. That's
How
really
many
all I can
people have
think of off my head.
how many people have won in a tier, took a year off, and then went down and played in a tier below and won?
That's also a good question.
It might be
I
the
don't know.
first.
It might be a first. So, KC has an opportunity to break some records here, but we'll see. Especially if they go a triple crown right after LG triple crown, that'd be crazy. But we're getting too in depth on prospect because we already had a whole episode on prospect predictions. So let's go. Let's move on to Apprentice. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, I already said my prediction last podcast, anyways, for this one, but I picked High Tide. I think that they just have such a complete team this season, and I think that it's just going to be really hard to beat them across 5 maps. There's
yeah,
just so many maps that they're good at, and so many just talented players that could carry them across the finish line each map. So I just think it'll be really tough. Obviously, I'm rooting for my boy Royal at
mm,
the 3 seed, but if High Tide doesn't win, I hope Chow does.
yeah. I think that'd be fair. I'll say a few things. I think okay. Well, my original playoff hope, the team I was betting on was PN. I really wanted PN to win. If you watch the drunk stream with Queenie, me and VK were really pulling for PN. No hate to Cha again. No hate to Cha. Love my Cha boys. Love Royal, Kanatoki. All those guys. But they took down my favorite. So now I'm like, okay, well, I kind of hope Cha wins because if they win, then at least the team that I wanted to win lost to the team who won. But at the same time, like, is High Tide really going to choke 2 seasons in a row? Probably not. They don't have to
I
face
mean,
Super Brain Wanderer this time, so we'll, never know what's going to go down.
they are playing against GG as we speak, and
Yeah,
it's 9-11 High Tide right now. And GG is on attack on Lotus. So,
interesting.
it very, very well could turn into a last year situation, potentially. There's some really good players on GG though. So,
Yeah,
no
GG
discredit.
came out of nowhere. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Hmm.
I really did not. Oh, hello, cattail.
Yeah, podcast. Here's my new kitty cat. He he loves laying on my desk, but he's such a good boy. His name's Milo. We adopted him. He's
Huge.
just a good all around kitty cat. Yeah,
And
It's
you're not rooting for KC. What is this? The Kitten Corral.
I got more dogs, man.
That's true. That's true. Um, but GG, I will say. Okay, spoilers.
Did they
Earlier this
pick up
season.
Mage?
What?
Did they pick up Mage or is Mage subbing for them?
I have no clue. Genuinely
Because
no
this
clue.
dude is 29 and 14 right now.
Oh, master class. Master class.
Yeah, he's a
Um,
shooter, man. He's a shooter.
Spoilers though. Earlier this season, I did a media day with all the GMs, and one of the questions, or one of the games, little things that we played was like predicting how the season would go. One of the questions was of all the new franchises, who was most likely to win? And and I didn't let the teams say themselves, and I can't say GG had one vote or more than one vote. So if they go ahead and win the grand finals in Apprentice this season, props to them. But they got to be High Tide first, and that's TBD from our standpoint. Who knows? Who knows what it's gonna look like when the episode comes out, either tomorrow or Wednesday before Prospect Grand Finals. So we'll see. But if I had to put all of my eggs in one basket, I think it'd be safe to go High Tide, because that'd be really bad if they choke twice in a row. But in my heart, I'm rooting for my boys in Cha Royal. I want to see him take one down.
I think that's deep down who I want to win. If I had to pick, like, you know what? Screw it. I'm picking Cha, actually.
You want
I'm
to rip
riding
Cha?
Royal.
Honestly, I'm
Yeah,
ready
do a
to
rip.
take the D1 Cha hater out of my vocabulary, and I'm ready to rip Cha. If you rip Cha.
Yeah, I'll rip Cha, honestly.
All right,
I
I'll rip
want one
Cha
of my
too.
buddies to win. Good homies with Royal. Friends with some of the people on High Tide as well. But I mean, what I'm watching right now, if they play like this against Cha, I just don't think they're going to get the job done. I think Cha would have won this map already. So,
Yeah.
but I did say High Tide from a logical standpoint. I think they'd have the best roster available as far as players go overall. But like I said, um, a lot of expectations they're living up to from last season, and this is kind of how last season looked, where they started to get rough around playoffs.
Now I think about it, where did we have Cha going?
I don't remember.
Damn, we had Cha as 1. Well,
Yeah, I was
shit.
gonna say.
Now we have to go Cha.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down to ride Shaw. I mean, I thought they were gonna be good with just having Legend and Royal. It's like a fair bet, and then you had Konatoki, which was a really good prospect player, right? Last year, or were they
Oh,
Apprentice?
KC Legend?
Yeah,
He's on Chaos Theory?
yeah, or he was last season. Is he still? I think he still is, right?
Oh, I mean, shoot. If they have Legend, I mean, surely they win. I don't know. Cha. I mean, yeah, Cha's just got a good roster. Like Chaos Theory Apprentice. See, I had you guys winning in the second podcast episode. You can't tell me I'm a Cha hater. All right. Moving on. Moving on to Expert. As of right now, High Tide is in. They were the second seed. They are in the grand finals. KC and PN still need to duke it out in the semis to find out who wins. Who are we thinking?
I think Casey's gonna beat PN, and then I think it's gonna be Casey High Tide grand finals, and I think High Tide's gonna win. I just think that High Tide's way more organized with their play, and having like a good IGL like Jabub, who plays collegiate, might be the difference maker.
Also a
Casey
podcast
rides
guest.
on exactly, yeah. From 2 seasons ago, right? Winner of Expert, right?
Yeah. Damn, that was really 2 seasons ago. Damn.
Yeah, they have like a lot of that. They have quite a few people that were from that championship roster on their team. They have Wumbo, Jabub, really solid player. Slater from the Apprentice team, really
Was
solid
Minnie on
Sentinel
that
player.
roster?
Minnie was on LG, then they beat him.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
With Flurk and Jag, yeah.
Right, that's right. Yeah.
I think that High Tide will win it just because I think the organization, and then also I think they have the experience in the grand finals with the pressure situation. So if they lose the map, they won't sweat it as much as maybe KC will with a bunch of new players to the league. I think Casey's got a lot of talented shooters, but I think High Tide overall, just from an organizational standpoint, like in their gameplay, is a lot more coordinated.
To be fair, Casey did make Expert grand finals last season also. So it's not like they're completely
they don't have like anybody
inexperienced. But
they have like nobody from last season, though.
Yeah, what do they have? Really. Trico?
They have Frey.
Oh, Frey. Yeah, Frey's having a good season though.
No, Frey is like MVP caliber this season. They have insane stats. Frey's frying. I think Frey could be the difference maker for him. I think if Casey has a chance, it's because of Frey keeping him centered, and not getting too caught up in the moment. I think that's the way KC wins, is Frey playing Frey's game and keeping him keeping
I
him
think
in
that's
check.
reasonable. Yeah. Yeah.
But I like I said, I just it's hard to root against Jabub. I mean, we've seen it when he was in the finals. He won it, IGL'd that, and now that him and Wumbo are back, so
They're
it'd be
back for
cool.
seconds. Yeah. But
But yeah, I think I got high tide there. I mean, I think KC has a really good chance, but like I said, I think it'll be like a 4 or 5 game series.
yeah.
Um,
Ah, damn. That's hard. I. I don't. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to see KC win 3 this season.
yeah, I think they are hard capped at potentially 2. I think Expert will be their hardest one to win. I think Prospect they have their best chance at winning a second.
Wow, this is gonna
Um,
be. Maybe I do
but
want to
still,
see
two of
KC just win
four.
them all. I don't know. I don't know
Two
what
of
I want.
four is quite the accomplishment, regardless of the situation. But yeah. But like I said, I mean, they have KC Expert has a really good like low MMR player. Um, and will the pressure get to that player that they rely heavily on for fragging? It's hard telling. Like I
Yeah.
said, there's a lot of variables with that team. You know, because if they're not shooting, then that's like their biggest strength. And what's going to happen? High
Yeah.
Tide, like I said, they just have a really good IGL behind them. Is the reason why I think that they just have such a good chance.
Yeah. High Tide is quickly becoming one of the more successful um,
Mm-hmm.
franchises, and props to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're hard to come by. But on the note of KC, though, I do believe coming up after this we have an interview with the Mythic Champions KC Mythic. It's going to be only one guest. I'm not going to leak who it is. You know, you can wait a couple seconds till the little transition, but uh, we are going to be right back. So don't go anywhere, and we'll see you in an interview. VDC, we are back. This time, for the first time in season 8, we have a brand new championship interview. Today, it's just me and my interview guest, of course. But who do we have for the interview guest? It's going to be Ramses999 from KC Underdogs. Gotta love it. Ramsey, say what's up, man.
Hey man, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. It's been a nice little weekend. Just living the dream, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
all right, so first off, congrats on the win.
thank you.
So before we get into the championship, let's get into semifinals. So you were tasked with a somewhat tough matchup against the 1 seed of Galactic Gladiators. I know they didn't have Tizera, they didn't have the whole shebang on their team, but being the team who finished the regular season with the best record, were you guys nervous going into that matchup? How did you guys prepare differently, if you prepared any differently for that matchup?
So yeah, I agree that they were definitely one of the teams that we were looking out for, especially judging by their record and judging by some of their players. Uh, we were going into it thinking that as long as we can beat them, any other team that we'd face in the grand finals would probably be a lot easier
Yeah.
than all the work that we'd go into preparing for GG. And I think we kind of lucked out a little bit. In terms of the map pool, I remember this was when we were going heavy into prepping our corrode, and immediately off the rip, We knew that Corrode was a map that we definitely wanted to play,
Mm.
especially since some of our other maps weren't really like clicking for us that well. And just like working on a new map, working on Corrode, a lot of our game plan was we kind of figured it out pretty quickly. So I think like having the map pool change and adding in Corrode kind of helped us for that matchup. And I don't really think GG really prepped that much on that map. So I was really surprised when they let it through. But I think they also thought that we weren't prepping that much on that map as well.
Mm.
When in reality, we were scrimming Corrode like, you know, yeah, we probably had like four or 5 days of scrims, like 3 maps each of just like playing a bunch of Corrode just because it was really fun for us to play that map, and we were just kind of like figuring out like different ways that we wanted to, what comps we were gonna run, what kind of strats that we were gonna cook up on that map, and everything kind of like meshed for us when we were playing against GG on Corrode.
Nice. Yeah, I going back to like the start of what you said. Um, when I had gone to the grand finals in season 5, we were also the 4 seed, and our first matchup was the 1 seed, who at the time was L7, and we were like, dude, if we beat L7, like, we're good. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
that's probably going to be our hardest matchup. Um, and then the 2 seed lost on the other side, and we were like, oh, dude, this is free. Well, we lost, but we had the same idea that going into it, that was going to be the biggest hurdle. So if we got that, it was going to be fine. But I think we got a little bit ahead of ourselves. But happy that you guys didn't. Actually, it was against KC. Now I think about it.
Was it?
Yeah, it
Oh,
was KC Apprentice that we ended up losing to. Um, but yeah, I'm a KC fan now. I can't lie.
well, glad to have you, man. We could use some more fans.
So KC, LG, and OS are the 3 most decorated franchises in VDC history. So now that OS is gone, GG, the Galactic Gladiators, were looking to, follow in their footsteps. They wanted to, you know, follow the legacy, live up to the legacy of their predecessors. How does it feel knowing that you basically just shut down those hopes?
So honestly, when I first was coming into the league, and especially like after I got drafted, I didn't really know like what all the teams were about. I didn't really know like which teams had a winning record or any
Mm,
kind of legacy for that matter. So when I got drafted to KC, I didn't really get to know like exactly like which teams to look out for until like midway through the season.
right.
And basically the only thing that I was told when I joined KC was that they didn't do that well during the last season, and they had like some big expectations for me to like really just like usher in like a winning season for this org.
Well, it seems it seems like they put their eggs in the right basket. Because well, actually, it seems like they put their eggs in a lot of the right baskets because KC could win more than just Mythic this season. They got Expert, who finished 24-8 as the 1 seed, and I believe are still in playoffs. And then you have the 6 seed going up against the 5th seed in Prospect in the grand finals on Wednesday, or
Yeah.
tomorrow or tonight, based on whenever this podcast comes out. But it could be another crazy 3, like triple crown, where a franchise wins 3 tiers, which originally seemed like we would never see it again, because the last time it happened was season 3 prior to last season, and then last season LG did it, and maybe KC does it this season, and then if KC does it this season, then we've got a whole new legacy. Like,
Yeah.
so that'll be crazy. Um, Well, I guess follow-up question to that. This one's going a little bit off script. What kind of did you, when you were told that you had kind of high expectations from your franchise management, did that change how you saw things? Like, did it change anything at all, or was it like, oh shoot, like a little confidence booster?
No, it didn't really change anything. Especially judging by like when they drafted me, I was the third overall pick. So
Yeah,
anytime you get drafted, that high, uh, up on the standings, you kind of assume that they're expecting a lot from you, or else they wouldn't have drafted you so early.
yeah,
And I know when they drafted me, and I messaged the GM, Nico, I told him that I was gonna win him a championship. So since the beginning, I told him
love it.
exactly what I'm about. And just a little bit about me is that anytime I do something, or like anytime I try to uh, like play in anything, especially in like Valorant, my purpose is to win.
Yeah,
My purpose is 100% like when I'm winning, I'm having a lot of fun. And
yeah,
when I'm
I
losing,
feel
I'm
you.
not I'm not having any fun.
Yeah,
So it's not generally in my nature to just like do stuff for fun and not really care about the results. Like when
yeah.
I'm playing, I'm having the most fun when I'm like committing like everything that I can into it, trying to win as much as possible, and like that's when I'm really having a blast. So from the beginning, it was all about winning.
I love that. Yeah, I can totally relate. This season for me was tough. It was my first season in expert, and I was not playing well, and inevitably it was hitting my fun levels. Like, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
totally get it. Totally get it. So now going from semifinals to grand finals, Cha was another team that had beat a higher seeded team to make the championship. So were you relieved that you wouldn't have to play against MF, who was the second seed, or did you see Cha as kind of more of a bigger threat than MF?
It was really interesting when I was watching that series. I really thought that MF was gonna win it, and I was already kind of game planning to face MF, especially some of their comps that they run on certain maps.
Yeah,
And when I was watching that game, I was really surprised that I saw a complete breakdown in like MF's offense, especially on that bind. Especially on the second map after the bind game where they choked that lead. I just saw their mental just completely crumble, and
yeah,
yeah, that was very surprising for me. But honestly, facing MF, facing Cha, I know that Cha's got a lot of star players, and they can definitely flip a series completely upside down. So yeah, facing either of them, I knew it wasn't going to be like an easy win, but I knew it was very manageable.
yeah, yeah. I like I had mentioned before, like we were going back to season five, like we were kind of scared of playing OS, um, because the matchup was OS versus KC, and OS was the 2 seed, and OS we did not play well against at all during the regular season. I don't know how you played it against MF. I didn't look into that at all during the regular season, but like we did not play well against OS in season five, and we were also a team of 4 players brand new to VDC, and then our GM Uklar at the time. Um, so all we had heard like all season was OS. OS is this monster. OS, has all these championships, and we're like, well, shoot, like we don't want to play against OS. So we were super relieved when we saw that we could play KC, and again we lost. So
Yeah,
that was tough, but
that is tough.
but uh but yeah, I mean those little changes at the end, because I wouldn't say we were preparing for OS, but like we were mentally preparing for OS. um and so when things kind of flip in an instant, you're like, oh well, I guess we got to adapt. So that is interesting. So, but speaking of Cha and MF during the regular season, so according to the VDC website, I feel like this could be wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong. You only played Cha once during the regular season, and you went 1-1 in that set? I don't know.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that's correct. Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm not really sure why that is because we played against other teams multiple times, but I think that's just kind of how the bracket kind of lined up. But yeah, we definitely did not know a lot about how we were gonna do against them, and especially when we played them the first time,
Hmm.
um, I don't think we really showed our true potential, you know. Especially with some of our role issues that we were having still at the time. I definitely thought that going 1-1 was definitely a disappointment against that team, and we
Right.
easily could have 2-0'd.
Yeah, that is another question that I didn't write anything specific about, but you guys kind of had a lot of roster changes throughout the season. I know. Oh my gosh, now I'm forgetting his name. Um, Raven
Wanzera, Raven, yeah,
came back.
yeah,
So, I mean, what was kind of you guys flipped a switch all of a sudden after some roster changes and seemed to be this crazy roster? What was that kind of change like in the middle of the season?
yeah. So I think it's better if I start towards the beginning,
Mm.
just to give some context on all the problems that we're going through. So forgive me if I start rambling a little bit.
You're fine.
Yeah. In the in the beginning, we had our full 5-man roster, which was Stick, me, uh, Addo, Whoosh, and One And I think we played one official game with One and then I think he had some personal stuff come up, and he couldn't really dedicate as much time to playing VDC as much, which was unfortunate. So yeah, immediately in the beginning of the season, we were struck with a decision where we had to, drop One and pick up someone completely different, right? And we were going through our options, and Raven kind of was out there looking for a team, and some of the uh, the other guys on the team already played with him and kind of knew what he was
Yeah.
about, so he was a pretty safe pickup. So yeah, immediately after the first game, we kind of started practicing and scrimming with Raven, and we did that for majority of the season. Definitely past the halfway mark, and then he had some personal stuff come up where he had to go on a long trip
Hmm.
overseas, and he couldn't really play any of the games with us. So that was like around the time when we had to make there was like roster locks, and we would need to pick up like a free agent
Right.
really quickly.
Yeah.
And at that time, there was not a lot of free agents in the pool that we were really considering on picking up. Especially a lot of other teams signed a bunch of our free agents that we wanted to play. Funny story is that we played one of our, I think one of the games that we needed to win to make playoffs with Chicken Tikka, and we were kind of like insinuating that we were going to sign him,
Yeah.
and in our mind that we were already going to sign him because he helped us win that game. We
Right.
liked his energy, we liked the way that he played, we thought he was a good fit. So basically, we were going to immediately pick him up. But then after the game, during the next morning, we found out that some other team had already signed him. Uh, I'm
That's
assuming that they
tough.
saw his performance
Yeah.
when our game was streamed and saw that he could shoot his gun pretty well, so they kind of picked him up really fast. So yeah, when we found out that that happened, it kind of threw our plans off, and we needed to find another player, and yeah, that kind of really made it difficult for us to really find anyone else because we were really thinking that we were going to get Chicken,
Yeah.
and he just became unavailable. So instead of just picking up a random free agent that we didn't really think we had a really good chance of winning with, we just decided to go and explore the restricted free agent pool, pretty much subbing in kind of like a new player every single week,
Yeah.
just so that we could make it through the rest of the season.
Yeah. That that sounds crazy. Um, Now, follow up question to that. I'm I believe it was Recon Zera
Yeah.
was the player who was not rostered technically in the grand finals, or
Yeah,
am
I
I
think
wrong?
he was a free agent or our restricted free agent in expert.
Yeah.
And basically, for the grand final, we were kind of set on playing with Prague. I know Raven kind of came back like out of the blue, saying that
Hmm.
like pretty close to the grand final, saying that you know if we needed him, he's available to play, right? But we
Yeah.
had already practiced with Prague for like multiple weeks leading up to that point,
Yeah.
getting all of our strats down and stuff like that. So we basically said, yeah, basically slotting in somebody that has missed the majority of the season, though it is unfortunate, like I would have loved to play with him.
Right.
It was basically like, it was not a good idea in terms of like winning. When we did a bunch of practice with the set group of five, and to just change someone out last minute would be like not a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, the team talked it over and said, yeah, we're just gonna stick with Prague and Recon uh, as our five going into the grand finals. And the reason that we picked up Recon was because we needed someone that was really low MMR. Prague's MMR was extremely high, so
Oh,
subbing him
really?
in, yeah, he was probably second highest rated MMR in a restricted free agent, and
Jeez. I
I
mean,
think
he
that was
was
only
good.
because, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think that was only because he didn't play enough combine games. He only played like two or three, so his MMR got really inflated from not playing combines.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, his MMR skyrocketed, and it was really difficult to make Prague like fit in with our MMR system, considering that
Yeah.
Stick's MMR is decently high and my MMR is like really
Right.
high as well. So yeah, so in order to get Prague to play, we needed to pick up like a low MMR player, and basically we looked at the RFAs that were like tier min,
Hmm.
and we weren't really confident in if they were going to be able to play for us, how available they were, if they were a good fit for the team. And one of my teammates suggested, hey, there's this extra player that's really good, and he's like a free agent, and we can sign him for tier min if we want to practice with him. And basically, after he said that, we started trialing him, and he fit in with our team really well. I really liked the vibes that he was giving off,
Yeah.
and yeah, since then we started practicing with him, and yeah, he won a grand final with us.
Dude, I still can't believe hearing like I've been watching the set over for to like marking down rounds that are good for like its own highlight video or like a recap video.
Hmm.
Dude, Recon is insane. And I remember hearing Omni or Zinx, as other people know him by, um, say that he was an expert player. And I'm like, dude, there's surely not. Like, this guy is insane. Like, hitting crazy shots, like two pieces, like it's nothing. I think he clutched a couple rounds too, like with a three piece. And I'm like, dude, this guy
Yeah,
should be
his
mythic. Like, this guy
yeah
is
his
good.
his
But,
mechanics were definitely insane.
yeah.
And he's also super young. I'm pretty sure he's like 14 years old.
I know.
Like
That's
he's just some
insane.
cracked Zoomer kid
Yeah,
that is just
yeah.
like, yeah, just insane at Valorant. So yeah, that guy's got a lot of talent, and his future is really bright if he wants to keep pursuing, playing this game. And
Yeah.
in a few years, I don't even know how good he'll be. He could really
Right?
be really good if he really like dedicated a lot of time to like getting better at Valorant.
Yeah, and shout out Recon. Future trivia question, by the way. Uh, the first expert player to ever win a Mythic Grand Finals, and honestly, probably the only expert player to win a Mythic Grand
Wow,
Finals.
really? No one's ever subbed in a extra player for grand
I
finals?
don't think so. Not that I'm aware of. So good for Recon. Already breaking records at this like young age. So,
Yeah.
um, so how did it feel to win the first Mythic Championship for KC, let alone just a championship in general?
It felt really nice. Cause especially because of how much like work that we put in as a group
Yeah.
of five. We really started the season like not really in a good spot with all of our roster changes, and a lot of our roles were also like up in the air. Some of the role issues that was happening was we didn't really know uh, like what kind of comps that we wanted to run. And I'm a pretty flexible player. Like I
Mm,
can play a lot of different agents, and we did experiment with different iterations on what kind of comps that we were playing. There was a couple times where I was playing, Initiator, couple times where I was playing Smokes, stuff like that, and didn't really find a lot of success. And I think when we solidified that I would be playing Duelist for most maps while calling, I think things started to line up a little bit better, and especially going to VJ or Addo.
mm-hmm.
We just wanted him to be on his most comfortable role. I know we
Yeah.
were flexing him a lot in the beginning of the season, but we found out that sometimes it's better just have your teammates on their most comfortable role and just kind of like work around them.
Yeah.
And he became or he started out as one of the worst like rated mythic players like in terms of stats,
Mm-hmm.
and throughout the season he has just continuously improved, just like becoming better and better every single week, getting more comfortable on his role, which was a controller. And yeah, he became an absolute beast towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
Like if you took his stats from like halfway through the season or like closer to the playoffs, right, all the way to the grand final, and you just separated that alone, he would be a really highly rated player. Like I'm sure his stats were insane because I
Yeah.
remember playing in those games, and I would just see Addo just absolutely destroying people, and I was like, wow, what a change that this guy has gone through throughout the season, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy what a little bit of momentum can do. Also, like once you kind of get like once you find your stride a little bit, if you can like keep that stride going for like 2 3 match days, all of a sudden like the confidence is built, and you just kind of ride that high for the rest of the season. Like that's for me, that's how my last season started. Like I had a honestly, my combines were not great, and then the preseason was mediocre at best. But then the first few match days, like I started playing somewhat well, and we also had a bunch of roster changes throughout that season. But like I just tried to replicate like the feeling that I had, those first 3 match days every single day, and then all of a sudden I just felt like I was untouchable, and like, and you just carry that momentum going through the rest of the season, and it doesn't matter what period it was. For me last season, luckily it was at the start of the season, so I was in good form for most of it. But like there are numerous players who like start the season a little bit rough, like start around their like if they're like a lower MMR player, and then all of a sudden by the end of the season everybody's like, whoa, they numbers really missed the mark on them, or you know what I mean. But it's just like, dude, some people just catch their stride in the middle of the season and just become insane, like, you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
shout out Addo. Kozin, I think they
Yeah,
also go. Yeah, yeah,
Kozen, Addo. Yeah, he goes by many different names.
yeah. So I think Kozin though is a player, or like is a name that most people recognize from past seasons. Obviously, I've never played a Mythic, so I don't know. But like I've heard, oh, Kozin this, Kozin that in the past. So I'm happy that he showed up towards the end of the season, and obviously in the grand finals, because now he's got a crown next to his name, or a trophy, whichever one we do. So
Yeah.
lastly, let's talk about you. We talked about you had high expectations, high MMR player. Regardless of that, you had a hell of a season. You had the highest ACS of all signed players. You had the third most kills of all signed players. I think like ACS was like 280, 289, something like that by the end of the regular season. So was there anything that you would say that enabled you to play at a level that seemed to be above the rest, or was it just like a raw confidence thing, or like were your teammates to attribute some of it, or you know what I mean? Tell me about that.
Yeah. Okay, I could go on and on and on about myself, but I'm gonna try to keep it brief. Um, so just talking about myself, I know that I have a lot more experience than a lot of the players in the league. I've been competing for a long time. Now I'm like actually retired. I don't really compete that much anymore.
Hmm.
So I kind of picked up this league as a kind of a way to like fuel my competitive edge.
Yeah.
I've been kind of been wanting to get back to scrimming, get back to playing official matches, and yeah, I feel like that's like a lot of fun for me. So I already had like a head start from a lot of the players in this league, especially competing in like tier 3 and tier 2 tournaments along the years, and I'm probably a higher rank than most of the players in this league as well. So
Yeah.
just by those like prerequisites, I was already in a really good place to compete like at a high level. But I also think that I'm more proud. I'm proud of my stats for the season, but I think I'm more proud of some of the intangibles that I really provided to the team this season. I
Yeah.
basically picked up the leadership role almost immediately. I don't think there was a single time that I played with this team where I wasn't IGLing or that I wasn't like kind of like being the team captain,
Yeah.
as in like kind of setting out like what we're gonna practice, which maps that we're gonna work on, what roles we're gonna put everyone on, and stuff like that. And I handled basically most of the prepping of the team. I did a lot of VOD reviewing for some of the teams that we're going up against, kind of building the game plan, building structure in the team. I could tell that a lot of these players they didn't really know like exactly what a good Valorant team is supposed to like look like and sound like,
Yeah.
whether it be from the pre-round strats to the macro play, all the way up to the micro as well, where team cohesion and chemistry really like you know are just crucial parts of like having a good Valorant team. So I really tried to instill a lot of those core principles into my teammates. And I remember I would give like very specific criticism to my players, and not to really like rag on them too much, but
Yeah.
because I knew like how good they were,
Right. Yeah.
like talking about Kozen, like I heard that he was a really good player. Like in the previous seasons, I heard he was like absolutely dominating. And when I saw that he was not playing very well on my team in the beginning of the season, I really tried to help him like regain a lot of that confidence that he lost going from the past season to this season.
Hmm.
And I kind of made that my goal to really just like give him as much tips as I could, kind of tell him like, hey, this is I tried to give him as much structure as possible. So like I basically told him, okay, this is the pre-round strat. This is exactly what we're doing. This util's going here. This is where we're gonna take map control, and then we're gonna rotate here. We kind of made everything as like simple as possible, so
Yeah.
that everyone knew what they were doing. Everyone
Yeah.
knows what the goal of the round is. Everyone knows what map we're taking, like what map control we're taking, what utility to use. And I feel like that made it a lot easier for my teammates to kind of play their own game when they don't need to think about, hey, should I recon here, should I smoke here, am I supposed to be flashing right now? Like I kind of took all of those like all those parts of the round, right, and just
Hmm.
and just simplified it and
Yeah.
kind of told everyone like, hey, this is exactly what we're doing. So that was some of the things that I really wanted to emphasize when I started playing on this team, because I could tell that they were good players, like they could definitely shoot their gun,
Hmm.
but I was I kind of didn't expect them to like really know exactly how like a good Valorant team is supposed to play. So
Yeah.
that's the one thing that I'm really proud of is getting all that structure put onto a new team. And I'm really thankful that they trusted me enough to
Right.
allow me
Yeah.
to come in and just laying out all these rules, protocols, strats. Like they didn't need to listen to me.
Yeah.
Like I'm just some random guy that they just met. Like so what I'm good at the game. So what, like I have like tournament results and stuff like that. Like they don't need to listen to me.
Yeah.
Like if someone random came in, I probably wouldn't think highly of them too if they were just bossing me around like that.
Right.
But they were
Right.
they kept a really open mind. And sometimes I give people like criticism and they just kind of brush it off. And it's like it's very obvious when that happens. But everyone on this team that I played with, I could tell that they listened. Like they took it to heart, and I could see them improving over the season. Like one time they would make a mistake, I would say, "Hey, next time don't do that. This is what you should be doing, and
Yeah.
this is how we're gonna do it from now on." The next time it happens, problem instantly fixed. Like it was so nice just playing on a team and being able to lead a group of guys that had as much trust in me to really just listen to everything that I was saying. So I'm really
Yeah.
thankful for them.
It sounds like as time has gone on, I I love everything that you just said. Uh because it sounds like as time has gone on, we players more and more players like you, I feel like Tyzera is another person who has a similar mindset as you, um, where it's very like, okay, let's focus up, let's work on the team, set protocols up, be a leader. Um, I feel like as time has gone on, we've gotten more and more people like that join, and uh, and they do well every single time. Like those players are sometimes hard to come by, and it's cool hearing you talk about it because I can hear the passion in your voice, and as you were talking, it kind of made me feel like, damn, like now I'm not that surprised that KC won, even though you guys were a 4 seed, going into it, because leadership goes a long way. Like what you were talking about with simplifying things and making things easier for certain players or trying to adapt to certain players, like that goes beyond just Mythic. Like that goes through all tiers. You know what I mean? Like I've done my best. I've had my best seasons when my IGL or whoever was IGLing for me was like painting the picture clear as day, and in my mind I was like, wow, like this is all I needed to do. And it allowed me to kind of play my own game within the structure of the team that was set out from the beginning, and it sometimes helps to just like with those simple like the simple calls, or whenever something has been simplified, to just be like, all right, this is I can kind of just turn my brain off and go. So
Yeah.
that was probably my favorite part of the interview. I'm not gonna lie, but I do have
Yeah.
one final question before we kind of end things off. Um, as the winner of Season 8 Mythic Tier, is there anything you would like to say to the league or to Mythic? As
Yeah.
I always want to give the platform to our champion. Say, as a champion, you are at liberty to say whatever. So
Yeah.
the floor is yours.
So I know my reputation in the league is not the greatest, especially with the way that I conduct myself with a very, uh, egotistical slash braggadocious kind of mindset that I have. But that's just the kind of the way that I like to play the game.
Yeah.
And like that's just my ego, like talking. And if you really talk to me one on one, you would, most of the people that don't really like me would probably have a different idea of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's one thing that I could really tell the entire league, or like specifically Mythic tier as well, considering those guys are the ones that are playing the game at the highest level in the league,
Yeah.
right? Is that it's okay to try to win. It's okay to try to be the best, because I feel like a lot of players in the league, they hop on, they play the combines, they might scrim once or twice here and there, and then they'll go play their season games. They'll play their regular season games,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll just play. If they win, they win. If they lose, they lose, and it's all supposed to be for fun, and they don't really care that much. But I feel like a lot of those players, they're missing a lot of the fun that they could be having if they just decided to, just take the competition part just a little bit more seriously, and like really just bond within your team. Like whatever group of 5 guys that you have, playing together, right? Go and practice and go and learn how to play the game at a fundamental level, and you can make practice fun. Like I promise you, if you have a group of 5 guys where you guys all just get along and you guys crack jokes, you can make practice like both educational and fun at the same time. On KC, we were having an absolute blast. Like I wish I could show you some of the VOD recording we had of our scrims. Half the time we're literally just screaming, just laughing, just having so much fun. So one thing I really want to say is that yeah, it's you guys are missing out on a lot. If you're not taking this league as seriously as possible, I know some people have like, other obligations. They can't
Yeah.
really, put as much time into playing Valorant as other people, right? But if you do have the time, and if your teammates have the time, like you guys will be surprised at how much fun and how good you can get playing with a group of players that, all have a mutual sense of trust and just want to have fun.
Damn. I could not have said it better myself. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You kind of blew me away with that answer. I could not agree more. Like, shit. The last two answers you just gave me, like from the last two questions, just straight up. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to glaze you or anything, but like, holy fuck.
No, W glaze. I accept all
Like,
glaze.
god damn.
Honestly, I don't get glazed enough. So any other glaze that you can give me would much appreciated,
Dude,
man.
I resonate with most of what you said at like a crazy level because I mean, maybe not to the fullest extent with like the whole ego thing. Maybe people didn't like it, but like last season in Apprentice, like before every match, I would send people like thumbs down gifts from the oh my god, what the Emperor Gladiator. Like I was like,
Okay.
dude, I'm just the ruler of Apprentice. Like, you know what I mean? Like, your fate's been decided. You guys are losing. Like, you know what I mean? Yes, what could it have been taken as BM? Yeah, but like, it's all fun in the games at the end, and like, I want to win, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
my first season in the league, I came in second place, and since then, like, I've only made playoffs once. Like, obviously, I want to win. You know what I mean? I can't just get that close and just taste it and be okay with that. You know what I mean? But one day, we'll see. But yeah, no, I mean, it's been a pleasure, absolute pleasure to have you on. VDC, that is probably the last segment unless something random pops up. Because, I mean, if you watched last podcast episode, Tyzera hacked into the mainframe, whatever you want to call it. It was like just popped up out
I
of
know.
nowhere. So who
That
knows?
was insane.
Anything could happen. But yeah, no. Again, Rams, it's been a pleasure. Really great interview.
Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate talking about the league as much as I can. It's honestly, this podcast is probably one of the best things about the league. Just by having other people just talk about certain things that happen in the league, especially when they're like talking about you. Like I remember when you guys are doing the combine rankings, like notable players from the combines,
Yeah.
and you guys mentioned my name. That was like a really cool thing to hear at the time. And I hope that you keep it up. I hope you keep doing this podcast for as long as you can, because I know at least I get a lot of enjoyment out of watching these whenever you guys upload them.
I love that, and that's the reason why I love doing the podcast. Like, I want to include as many tiers as possible, but I want it to supplement the experience because I think like what we've got as a league is great. You know what I mean? But it could always be a little bit better. And if, talking about some people in a podcast is going to make their experience better, like, that's all I want. You know what I mean? I want people to enjoy the league as much as they possibly can. And that's why I love doing media. because I feel like I get the opportunity to make people's times and experience with the league better. So thank you for the kind words. Seriously.
No, thank you, man. You deserve all the credit. Like, the podcast wouldn't be around without you. So you're pulling a lot of. It's a tough job that you have, and you're doing a really good job.
Oh, I appreciate it. And well, yeah. Again, thank you so much. And VDC, we'll see you with the interview with the following TBD prospect and apprentice and expert champions in the upcoming episode. So,
yes, sir. KC win. Shout out my GMs.
KC on top. Let's go.
KC on top. Let's go.
We'll see you guys next time.